We're going to go Denver Broncos because last season they finished an abysmal 5-11. To be honest, though, it was a tough season from the get-go. I mean, before game one even happened, they lost Von Miller for the season. They lost Cortland Sutton for the season. And, remember that one game they had a wide receiver be the QB because everybody had the Rona? So no QB. They put some random wide receiver out there, and I think he completed 3 passes on the day. So good for him. Good for the Denver Broncos. Last season, they were ranked 28th in offense, 25th in defense. This offseason, they lost running back Philip Lindsay and cornerback AJ Boye, but they did sign 2 cornerbacks in Al Darby and Kyle Fuller. In the draft, they drafted a cornerback in Patrick Surtain second and a running back in the second round in Javonte Williams. Eric, why are the Denver Broncos going to be successful?
Oh, I think he's frozen.
There he is. What happened?
All right. Why are the Broncos going to be successful? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. They're starting 3-0 because they play the Giants game 1, Jaguars game 2, Jets game 3. 3-0. Not up for discussion. And then you gotta just put a little bit of hope and wishful thinking into Teddy Bridgewater. He had his chance back in the day when he was in the Vikings, and he had that gnarly injury. And
hold up, you're saying that he's gonna start over Drew Lock?
No, but I would say if Drew Lock is starting out terrible, you give him a short leash because I think he's had time to prove himself. Maybe this is his last chance to prove himself there. I feel like we were kind of talking about that last time we were talking about the Broncos, whenever the hell that was. No one likes him anyways. Who cares about this fucking team? But look, they're going to start 3-0. You'll have Teddy Bridgewater as a backup for when Drew Lock starts messing up. Teddy Bridgewater was number 4 in deep pass rates last year, 63%, only behind Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Jared Goff. So there's one good thing about him. Their defense, the only thing that was all right for them, they were 16th in pass yards allowed. Everything else, they were in the 25th and below ranking. So they're trending upward in their defensive capabilities, as you could say, in that sense. So they'll start off 3-0, and then they'll work it out from there, maybe upset a few teams. And this is why they're going to be good this year.
Okay. Alex, why is Eric wrong, and why are the Broncos going to suck?
It's kind of tough because, as you may remember, I picked the Broncos to be the AFC champion, assuming the Aaron Rodgers trade happens. But as of right now, that hasn't happened, and their quarterback situation is shit, so they're going to be shit. They're just, unfortunately, I think almost a low-key tough division with, obviously one team looks very good, and the other 2 are maybe sneaky good. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but I just think they have a tough division. They have a great beginning schedule. That sounds great. 3-0. They could go lose all the next games. They could go 3-14. So it's a tough year. You really don't know what you're going to get with Von Miller. He's been that franchise guy for the last decade or so, but him coming back off that injury is going to be tough. Hopefully Cortland Sutton. There's a lot of health issues, and unfortunately for Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock, they just can't. They're not going to do it. Denver's a super hard place to play with the altitude, and then leaving the altitude. I just don't see it right now for Denver, unless Aaron Rodgers comes, and then obviously they'll be the AFC champions, like I said a month and a half ago.
Alex, what is their record going to be at the end of the season?
Their record is going to be, let's see, they were 5-11 last year, right?
Correct.
I'll give them 6-11, since that makes 17 now.
6-11.
They get one more win. They're not like a terrible team. I just don't think they're just in the middle of the pack. It's just gonna be a tough year in Colorado.
Okay, Eric, what's the record gonna be?
Probably 6-11. Let's be realistic here. If they get Aaron Rodgers, though, they'll be 11-6. So that's the silver lining.
Dude, if they get Aaron Rodgers, I think they make 15-2. If they don't,
something like that.
I think they're gonna go 9-8. So I'm a little bit higher on them than you guys are. Reason being is
Teddy
that
Bridgewater.
okay, that's that you said about the deep throwing. It's because they had Robbie Anderson, man. That guy just runs straight, and that's all he does with the Carolina Panthers. But they do have Jerry Judy for the Broncos, and Cortland Sutton's coming back. QB is a weak spot, but that secondary that wasn't so good last year, they've made some really good pickups in the draft, and Ronald Darby and Kyle Fuller, who was once a Pro Bowler back in the day. And the fact that you got Von Miller back and Bradley Chubb's getting better and better, that's going to be a nightmare for offensive lines. So I'm thinking 9-8. Last year was a fluke because they had so many injuries and didn't have a QB for a game. This year shouldn't be that bad. 9-8. Traden, what do you think?
No, I have like a 6-10, or I'm sorry, 6-11.
Everybody said 6
up with the, there's an extra game. Yeah.
Okay. And then Tyler.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with more the consensus. I'll go 5-12 to be a little more different. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna be that great.
Okay. Moving on, we're gonna go talk about fantasy. So Eric, because you're the 4, tell me about the fantasy players for the Denver Broncos.
Melvin Gordon. You hope that he has a good season. He may be getting a lot of handles if the quarterback situation isn't where it needs to be. So there's your points right there. Teddy Bridgewater, get him as a backup. Have him Teddy Bridgewater is going to be a waiver wire guy. Like, watch, we're going to talk about him.
Oh,
when are we talking about him though? I want to know.
He's frozen.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Noah Fant.
No offense.
I remember him last year. Actually, he was pretty solid fantasy wise. Or one of the better players on that team to get you points. And then lastly, Jerry Judy. Exactly kind of what you just described, James. Up and coming receiver for them. Let's hope they have a good quarterback to throw him a lot of passes and hopefully touchdowns.
So contrary to what you think, I would stay away from the Broncos running backs, mainly because Javonte Williams is highly regarded. And who's going to start in this position? Is it going to be Melvin Gordon, who is not very efficient, or is it going to be Javonte Williams, who is a workhorse back in North Carolina? It's kind of a toss-up right now. Either way, whoever gets that starting position, if you figure that out, go with them because they're going to run the ball a lot because that quarterback position is shaky, just like Eric said.